Getting a GH3 wireless remote to connect to the computer as an Ace ID device for uses like Clone Hero is pretty simple. One thing you need to get is a driver so that the computer can understand this as an Ace ID device. When I reference Ace ID devices, I mean human interface device. This is basically taking a real world thing and converting it into input that the computer reads. Stuff that does this is keyboard, mice, and game controllers. So to do this, we're going to use this guy's great driver he made. If you go over to his website, the link to it will be down below. And if you scroll down a little bit, he talks about it a lot, and he tells you how to do all of this, but I'm going to make a little bit of a video for it for use towards Clone Hero. So what you want to do is download the version for your computer. I have a 64-bit operating system, so what I'm going to do is download the 64-bit version. I'm running Windows 7, which this tutorial will be slightly different between different operating systems, but I'm just going to run with the Windows 7 one. So once you hit this, it will take you to the download. Once you get the download, you can put it wherever you want. Mine just goes to my download photo, and you get this zip file. If you open it up with WinRAR or whatever, you can see what's in it, but that's not helpful. We need to extract it. So I extracted it to this folder, just called it the same thing as the device itself. You open it up and you see this exe. So you want to double click on that and you hit yes to run it. While it's running, once it runs, you see this pop up. This is the installer for it. What you're going to need is the device driver itself, because you need the driver. You hit install, it's going to let you do a wizard, hit agree, you redo the terms, the certificate and all of that, and then you hit finish. And then, so these two are optional. This one allows you to install the driver certificates. This may boost the ranking of the driver so that it gets picked over top of another driver. I install it just because to make sure it works. You don't have to, but it should help issues if you're having any. And then you're going to have to run your computer either in test mode, or you have to turn off your driver signature verification. This is because Windows does not like this driver. Yes, so you have to tell it to ignore the verification of the signature. If you tell it to ignore the device signature verification, you're going to have to do this every single time you reboot the computer. But with test mode enabled, if you hit over here and enable, it's until you have to reboot the computer. But after this one reboot, you don't have to change anything. But it runs your computer in a thing called test mode. So I'm not going to run it in test mode just so I can show you how to disable the verification. But I will end up running my computer in test mode. So once you're done with this, you can hit close, and then it's going to open up the control center. If you ever need to reopen this window, it's this exe just opened the Ace ID remote control center.exe. You open that. And if you want to disable your test mode, just go up to your tools and then hit installer, and then you can enable, disable the installer, uninstall them, and all of that. So once you have this open, if you try to connect your remote, it's going to fail because you haven't disabled your driver verification yet. So if you go to hit add device, to add a device, you have to put the remote in pairing mode. Pairing mode is when you hit 1 and 2 together, and then it's going to start flashing. And then as you see, it wants this input device. The input device will be this for now. Its name will actually change to a remote later on. So you want to pair without using a code. And see Nintendo RVL CNT01. That means this got detected as a remote. So you can close out of this, and then it says Windows is installing a device. You want to keep hitting a button so that the controller doesn't do this, which is called sleep mode. This will happen if you don't have your verification disabled, it's not gonna connect correctly. So it's gonna say it's installing the driver for all of this, but it's gonna fail. And it's gonna fail because if you go over here, you can go to properties, go to hardware, and it's mad. Go to properties. It's gonna be like Windows cannot verify the initial signature. Alright. So that issue can be replaced by telling it not to verify it. So to do this, you're gonna have to go over here to your start menu and tell the computer to shut down. Once the computer shuts down, you're gonna turn it back on and hit the F8 key. So once your computer is off, you're gonna go to turn it back on. And once it's starting to boot back up, you're going to hit the F8 key. The more times you hit it, more the chance of you actually getting it to work. So you want to turn it on, and it's booting up, so you want to hit the F8 key. So I'm going to just click a decent amount of times to make sure I go in here. And it's advanced boot options. Within the advanced boot options, you can see a bunch of stuff like safe mode and all of this stuff, but the one you want is to disable the driver signature enforcement. So you just use the arrow keys and it will scroll you down. You go to it, hit enter, and then it's going to start Windows like normally, except for the device verification is going to be off. Alright, so your computer just booted back up. You're either in, if you're in test mode, down in the bottom right hand corner, you're going to see a thing that says test mode, build number, blah blah blah. That's how you know you're running in test mode. If you're not, and you just did the driver verification, you won't have a visual notice. But if you go over to your Bluetooth, right click and you show Bluetooth devices, you can add it, but I personally like seeing it being added. So you go over here, and then wait for this to reload. I'm going to remove this device because it needs to be reconnected with the new driver. So that's how I'll be removing that. And then while that's removing that, I'm going to go back and open. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing it so you can see what it looks like when it happens. So you want to launch open the exe. Wait for it to load. And then this opens up. And you don't need this anymore, but I'm going to use it to open up Clone Heroes. I'm going to just minimize it. My device has been removed, so I'm going to add a new device. And I'm going to put the Bluetooth controller in pairing mode. I'm using 1 and 2. You can use the red button on the back. So the lights are flashing. It shows up as a Nintendo device. I click on it, and I'm clicking 1 so that the controller doesn't go into sleep. I pair without a code, and I hit close. I can't hit the button anymore. So my remote went back in sleep mode. This is because Windows has to do this long installation thing, but once it does it one time, then when you repair it, you won't have to worry about it again. So you have to remove it again and then repair it. You can get it the first time if you don't let the controller go into sleep. My computer takes a little bit longer to load the driver so that the remote actually goes to sleep during the process. So if I do it again, Windows realizes how the driver should be set up, and then it doesn't take as long to do it. If I do add device again, I put it back into pair mode, and then I'm going to click A this time so that I can hold it with my left hand, hit next, pair without a code. On Windows 10, there was a different way of doing that. You have to be on a private network and open a private thing, blah blah blah. Anyways, once it pairs, you're going to see that you have lights. Your lights, the count of your lights might be different than mine. It's dependent on the battery level of your the batteries inside of your remote. So this is picking up that I have almost brand new batteries, which I just recently put them in. I was playing with them earlier though, so the battery died down a little bit. So once you have the green lights, the green bar with the blue lights, and it shows that it's the Guitar Hero guitar, and these lights are on and they're not flashing or turning off, that means this is ready to be played with Clone Hero. And the best part is you can actually connect multiple guitars together or to your computer, as long as your Bluetooth supports it. So you can go over here, hit add device again, and then just pair it again and connect it. And you should only have to do the next one once, because it already knows what driver to use and all of that. And it will show the list right here. So this is this one, and then if you had another one, it will show you here, and so on and so forth. So once you get that done, you can go over to Clone Hero, and then open it up. I'm gonna have the link to the Clone Hero download, well, to the YouTube video down below. On that YouTube video, there's a download link. And then you hit play, it opens it up, and then there's a possibility you're gonna have to tell Clone Hero to use this as the controller. So, to get the Clone Hero to pick this up as a controller and to assign which controllers on which player, you hit the spacebar, and where you see player 1, it might show that it shows none. If it does, hit assign controller, hit a button, and it will link whatever controller you just hit the button on onto player 1. If you have multiple controllers, go over to that player and do it respectively to that one. You hit assign controller on that controller you want the second player to use, you hit any button on it, and it'll assign that controller to that player. Once you have it to the player, it should be able to hit start, and then you can pick the profile. So I'm going to scroll down and then hit green to select it, and then I hit play, and then I can play songs like Black Magic Woman, and now all the buttons are working, and I'm even able to strum and hit all the buttons and do whatever I want. So that's it. That's all you have to do. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave them down below. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. I've only done this on a Windows 7 computer, and I'm going to work on getting it on a Windows 10 soon. So subscribe to see that. I just missed that note, and I'm kind of disappointed. But anyways, that's how you get this to work with Clone Hero. You should be able to get this up to 4 guitars. I've tested it with 2, it's worked fine. I don't have 2 more guitars to test it with. Good luck. Hope you found this to your liking and what you needed, and see you on Clone Hero.